So, Roger, what do you make of us hearing from so many Fed officials? Obviously, they're speaking about the economy, but they're also moving the markets. Is this a departure from what we've seen in recent years? And just what's your general take on it?
Well, first, it's not a departure from what we've seen in recent years. Once the blackout period is over, Fed governors and Reserve Bank presidents are out speaking, and the demand is talk to us about the economy. So I'm not surprised. It's a lot to have on one day, but generally that's the trend. Look, I think what's going to happen is there will be a consistent message, which is we don't want to fall behind the curve, some sense that risks are much more balanced. There'll be some nuance on 25 versus 50 points. You've talked about somebody saying ready to go 50, someone else saying no need for a mad dash. I think we'll continue all of that. But I do think volatility is going to come from a second place, which is the Fed is going to continue to emphasize that it is data dependent, and hence every data release, particularly those dealing with the labor markets, I think are likely to get outsized reactions as the market tries to determine whether or not a particular data release leads to a 25 or 50 basis point cut at the November meeting.
Roger, right now we're actually showing a graphic, CME pricing in a 61% chance of a 50 basis point cut at that November meeting. You mentioned we're hearing some people say this, some people say that. I want to talk about Michelle Bowman, the only dissenting vote during the meeting last week. Is that the person that we should listen to, maybe the closest out of everybody?
I think you should listen to Governor Bowman for sure to see. First, she's going to articulate her reason for feeling that 25 was better than 50. I think it actually came down much more to a judgment call as opposed to a strong disagreement about strategy. I think she was prepared to cut. It was just how much. But I think you need to listen, obviously, to Chair Powell because he will be reflecting, obviously, his points of view. And there are a number of other governors who will have a point of view as well. So I would say listen to all of them, but don't over-listen to any one of them, because at the end of the day, the consensus has not emerged on the next move. They are, they say, data dependent. And my concern for the market is they will be whipsawed as these individuals lay out their own perspectives. But those nuances among them are not going to be critical until one gets closer to the meeting, which is not until early November, as you know.
Well, Roger, you're hitting on something. The Fed continues to say it's data dependent, yet we have all these people coming out, kind of giving their take on the last meeting and how they see things going forward. And then we have two big economic reports coming up. We have PCE tomorrow, and then we have the jobs report a week after tomorrow. So I got to ask, do all these Fed speakers coming out, does it really matter, or should we really be paying attention to these reports? Is that really what's more important?
Look, so I think most of the Fed speakers are going to be explaining the rationale for where they are and why they moved. All of that is sort of backward looking. You'll hear a few of them, as you have already, talk a bit about strategy and basically pacing. But I think they haven't decided. No one could have decided yet whether or not the next move should be down 25 or down 50 until they see some of these reports. And so, this data-dependent question first means that decisions have not been made until data come in, and we've got 6 weeks more or less until the next meeting. But secondly, the risk to the market is the market will get over-focused on a particular data release, and the Fed, as they say, are not data point dependent, but rather data dependent. So I think everyone should take a step back, try to see the entire picture, wait for several data releases to come in to get a general trend, and then I think there'll be much greater clarity as we get towards the end of October and very early part of November.